Check one, check two. Are we live? I'm now checking the chat to see if we're live. I will start talking about things as soon as I get confirmation. This will be my first time watching on Odyssey. Will there be a live button? I don't know. This will be it would be an embarrassment to be called an embarrassment. Yeah. I will see if I'm live. We're live, says Kyneton Bear. The man, the legend, back home in Florida now. Made the trek. Guys, driving isn't too bad. Like, I don't think a future without air travel would be bad at all. I'm actually looking forward to it. All right, so if you want to super chat us, half goes to COD, and it'll help pay for his debts that he owes to a lot of Indians. We'll be talking about the Indians today, one of their bold claims they're making in Canada, and it's not even them. It's an apparatus. Entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. All right. As you guys file in, why don't we just watch me as a Mexican slave driver again? This made anybody who speaks Spanish laugh a lot.
Mi verga es puto, porque yo soy gringo diablo. Gringo diablo con todos los agua. Yo tengo todos los agua, americano. Necesito más agua, por favor.
Sí.
Yo tengo todos los agua. Mariposa. Mariposa no tengo agua.
Agua, por favor.
No agua para tú. Trabajo, americano. Trabajo, patito.
Sí.
Sí, es verdad, patito, es verdad. Venga, es gay.
All right, so the point I was trying to make is you don't need to know that much Spanish to be a Mexican warlord. Just enough, you have to be able to call dudes gay, hoard the water, and make sure everyone keeps working. All right. So COD drove the equivalent of where from here to Argentina? Where to Argentina? Today's going to be a nice mellow one. It's a beautiful day here in beautiful North Idaho. And take many naps. COD crushed it. I mean, he drove 80 hours back and forth. I'm looking forward to my next long drive. Center to center. Interesting. Drive all the way to Argentina and see Adolfo Hitlerio still alive, according to some. All right, so if you want to super chat, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. All right. There's going to be some working going on in my land here. I hope that's cool with you guys. The Daily Beast article isn't even worth a response. They did an article? I didn't even know that. I didn't think they were gonna, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I just think the media's gotten so silly. I mean, we've become friends with a lot of our neighbors already. So the whole thing about like, oh, the neighbor's this. We actually did a, hang on, did I put one in here? Oh, I didn't screenshot it. Yes, they did. How was it? Was it like crazy? I sent it to you on IG. It's hilarious. Makes you sound so cool. That's awesome. Oh, speaking of Woodshop Bear, we got a Woodshop Bear knife here. Look at this. This is made by Woodshop Bear, I believe. I'm going to be using that for opening packages today. They claim that 9 concerned. Are you serious that the number was 9? We don't have 9 neighbors. There's only been one concerned neighbor, and she's a Californian Biden supporter. It's kind of fun. I mean, it's like in North Idaho. It's like crazy. But they, I mean, that's kind of cool. Let me read it. I'm kind of curious. Hang on. Let me read this. So you sent it to me on Instagram? Live. Nice. Oh, and if you want to support the stream and our endeavors, Neighbors Fear Bear themed compound will be the next Ruby Ridge. This article makes you sound awesome. Guarantee you get. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, IG. I don't think that article is written for the literate. Neighbors Fear Bear themed compound will be next Ruby Ridge. And for those of you that don't know about Ruby Ridge was a tragedy against the Weaver family, Randy Weaver. They shot his wife and his kid. Yeah, Neighbors, I know. An alt-right comedian's plans for a remote patch of land in Idaho have terrified his neighbors, who fear it will become a hostile compound or mark the start of a new Ruby Ridge-style standoff. Well, if this article had just called the commissioner, they looked into it and said that the claims were ridiculous. Like, no law enforcement have any problem with us at all. Comedian Owen Benjamin once had a moderately successful Hollywood career, landing roles in movies and TV shows, and briefly becoming engaged to actress Christina Ricci. So that's success, is being engaged to like an actress. That's amazing. All right. After moving to the right, he appeared on podcasts hosted by Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's considered right-wing by these people. Joe Rogan is literally a sodomite. Like, he bangs butts. All right, yada yada. As his following among conservatives grew, however, Benjamin became increasingly racist and anti-Semitic. He repeatedly used the N-word. Which word? Neighbor? You just said neighbor like 8 times. They keep using this one thing. They're claiming that Adolf Hitler was only trying to clean Germany of the parasites. That's what he said. I was a World War II history major. Does anyone read Rise and Fall of the Third Reich? Any of that stuff? No? Everybody's illiterate now? Benjamin broadcast to his fans grew more erratic, seeing the one-time comedian embrace the flat earth theory and recommend drinking turpentine as a medical cure. But being on the internet fringes can be lonely, so Benjamin decided, this does make me sound hilarious, decided to build a place where his remaining bear-themed following, who call themselves Unbearables, could meet in person. Being on the fringes of the internet is lonely. That's hilarious. Exactly what Benjamin's intentions for the property in Sandpoint, Idaho are Ursa Rio, blah, blah, blah. I just want to see if they used any of my quotes. Neighbors are getting nervous, urging local officials to step in and issue a cease and desist order blocking construction. You realize that they're the fascists, right? Like, they want the government to be able to shut down private people from having a place to camp. Good luck. You are the only people who can prevent this reenactment of Ruby Ridge. This is so unethical, Daily Beast. The prospect of a far-right encampment in Idaho recalls the state's history with other extremists. The Aryan Nation once ran a compound in the state. In '92, 3 people were killed in the Ruby Ridge standoff between federal agents and white separatist Randy Weaver. Yeah, they forgot to mention it was his wife and baby and son. Literally. That was the standoff. They just murdered his family. The controversy over Benjamin's... There is no controversy. It's... Guys, you want to see the writer for... They just referenced Kootenai Valley Times. All right, watch this. You want to see a video of the sole writer, producer, and owner of Kootenai Valley Times. You guys want to see this? 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Pandas, hilarious. So basically, I'm kind of like, if you look at my last 7 days, it's all about pandas, family, gardening, and showing people what the media actually is.
There is.
1 second, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Let's take a look at the sole owner, writer, the only guy that does the Kootenai Valley Times. It's one dude. They've started this whole network where they can create these illusions. Guys, we had neighbors come over for like meat the other day. And we have no permanent residents there. And it's like, this is all preposterous. All right, so check this out. This is the Kootenai. I feel like I'm starting to get this feeling that the Daily Beast might be a little biased. Check this out.
We are with Owen Benjamin.
Okay.
And it has to do with the recent article.
Okay.
We're just wondering, like, where you got your sources from. Like, what do you know about Owen Benjamin?
Nothing at all. Never met him. Link
made Tuesday, the commissioners, and I got documentation from the people making the complaint, and that's where the article came from.
Okay. So you did you do any kind of research on him before printing? No. Reporting things that are not exactly true about somebody, like saying, like confirming something about, white nationalism and
I had to confirm everything I wrote. I'd never get anything written.
Hilarious. So that's the media. Well, I'll give the Daily Beast this. They did kind of say my side. Even though there is no sides, they create a false binary. But I do not have a paramilitary squad. I was making a joke as a comedian, unless you consider my goats and chickens a military. Nice. Thanks. Thank you. By his own accounts, Benjamin does not come off as an ideal neighbor. I don't think these people have ever been to Idaho. Anytime you guys want to come up to Idaho, let me know. Savage told the Daily Beast that he's seen an uptick in business as conservative urbanites try to move to rural areas. This is going to be good for everyone's business. But Savage won't work with just any buyer. His website warns that snowflakes and Marxists need not apply. Nice, Todd. We only have work with people who are libertarian right, end of story, Savage told the Daily Beast, because we want people who will have the same belief system around us, and that's okay. Yes. That's what I mean, the one neighbor who's having a problem, she'd never sell me land because of ideological differences, but they don't write anything about that because they're in the same ideological world. The Bears don't have we're not an ideological community. It's just all so silly. And so the bottom line is forming communities is the way to go. And a lot of these people, I think what motivates them is just fear. I think it's just fear that we might be right. And also, one thing I will give some of these writers is I think there might have been a scarier past where people were doing like compounds and being real scary and provoking people. And those days are just long gone, we won't sell houses. Yeah. There's nothing there. We haven't even built a cabin yet. It's just so paranoid. But in their defense, like, my compassion does kind of go to them a little bit because I understand why they're paranoid. They're surviving on a system that's so in flux and so unstable that at any moment it could just fall apart, and they know that. And so to have community, to have neighbor is the way to go. All right. So I'm not upset about the Daily Beast. They actually said my quotes. I think the writer did a decent job. I mean, I know that if you edit up my videos over years of time and try to highlight me to look as crazy as possible, it can scare people. But I've done 100 days of live streaming through all kinds of emotions, all kinds of ups and downs. Dreaming of Bertari in the beginning, I didn't understand certain things as far as like the private and the public and commercial and all that. We've adopted. Everybody's cool with it. A small group of trolls seem to have made a lot of noise. But in the end of the day, we break no laws. The community likes us. It's great. And I think that article will actually have an opposite effect where I think more people will want to do things like that, like get like-minded people to have a community, not based on hate or violence or any of that stuff. I'm not just saying that to be whatever. I really don't like being around those people. Like the people that are always waiting to attack somebody, those are going to keep growing more and more as the coming potential balkanization of America happens. I don't think that's the path. I think the path is gardening, animal husbandry, skills, gratitude, large families, private lands. That type of stuff is the future. I think people that fetishize and overthink violence are in for a very rough life because no one else is doing it to you. It's not an external threat, it's an internal threat. And so I know it sounds crazy, but I found that article to be somewhat fair. I mean, I guess the article was kind of saying, what the other quote-unquote side says, but the other side is literally a paranoid cat lady and a bunch of riled up trolls and potential pedos in wheelchairs who already are claiming that they don't do any research on what they write. So this dude at the Daily Beast, ironically, is portraying that quote-unquote side, a non-existent side of crazy people on the internet. And so the fact he said some of my quotes, I think, is very helpful. And I understand that people keep quoting my Wikipedia hit stuff where it's like, Hitler just wanted to get rid of the parasites, blah, blah, blah. That's what he claimed. And if you think, I've never been a fan of Hitler. I've never liked Hitler. I thought Hitler killed more Germans than Caesar. I think that he was reckless. He was a gambler. He could have, I'm not going to play armchair politics when you're against all the when you're against the English Navy trying to blockade. It's a really interesting story. I'm about to read this book, Stalin's War. It sounds really interesting about how it all happened. But what I think a lot of the misunderstandings with the quotes about what I say about Hitler are, a lot of people have no idea what they're talking about. It's almost like there's an intelligence hump that you got to get over in order to know that what I'm saying isn't super scary. And then people say Grabler means Jew. Grabler does not mean Jew. Grabler's a hunched over trickster liar who rubs his hands. And no, I'm not claiming that all of them are Jews. A lot of people who call themselves Jews are grabblers. Just like a lot of people who call themselves Christians are grabblers or atheists. A grabbler, the verb to grabble is to use your hands to get potatoes out of soil. And we all know the type of person where they feel a glee, a euphoria when someone else is in pain or a trick is transpiring. They literally, guys, they rub their hands like this. And so, many of them wear small hats. Many of them wear big hats. But it is what it is. It's the victim consciousness. Is being defined as a victim is the problem. And these things are not hit pieces. I mean, I go into the post office. I go everywhere. People know my name. They say hi. Ask Cod when he was here. We get nothing but love in Idaho. All right. Shiva Bear says, thanks, BB and Cod. Saw this in my local Belfast live paper. Belfast to Liverpool flights could soon be available by airship. Yeah, people are getting it. Thanks for the super chat. This is from Claptrap. Plant a seed, plant a flower, plant a rose. You can plant any one of those. Keep planting to find out which one grows. It's a secret no one knows. It's a secret no one knows. Oh, no one knows. Bop. Bop, 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 bop. Hanson gravy. Dude, some of the best gravy is in places that you don't expect. Plant a seed, plant a flower, plant a rose. You can plant any one of those. Keep planting to find out which one grows. It's a secret no one knows. Wow, Hanson's getting it. All right, so if you want to support the stream, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy and P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. Let's talk about some other stuff. They said you advocate for quiet rural living. The truth can't be stopped. Yeah, I do advocate for quiet rural living. And I think a lot of people reading that article would say, man, I love this guy. I want to be with this guy. And it's like, it's great. It's great publicity. It makes me uncomfortable. I wish they didn't do it. But in the end of the day, it's not bad. It's like, it's the quote-unquote racism. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-satanic. I don't like evil. And I think it's crazy to associate all Jews with evil. When I criticize a lot of stuff that people who call themselves Jews do, I'm anti-Satanism. I'm anti-upside down, inversion, satanic. I'm not anti-Tyler Goldstein and King David. That's crazy. To lump in, it's kind of like saying if you're against welfare, you're racist. The irony is ridiculous, where it's like saying that blacks need to be on welfare. I know tons of blacks who think welfare and the nanny state and the motivations of private prisons have destroyed a lot of black people's lives. And so what, are they not black according to these urban weirdos? Because this is, in their defense, the reason they're so paranoid is they live in a world that, okay, if you live in a city you're going to be an environmentalist, you're going to be a feminist, you're probably going to be pro-choice and anti-gun. Why? Because you're in this world of like crazy amounts of people running around all the time. No one grows or builds anything. So you see human beings as a weight, as a problem, a virus. That's where the environmentalism comes in, eugenics, and anti-baby, anti-family. And then a gun is horrifying because everywhere you look, there's a homeless black guy. And you think if he has a gun, he's going to rob me because I have more money than him, right? So what do? You do the inversion and you say like, oh, I'm an ally to the black. Nobody has guns. Everyone kill the babies, right? It's a sickness that happens when you're in an urban environment. So most of these writers, I understand their views. It's wrong. Like the truth is humans are not a virus. The truth is family is wealth. Money is debt. Money is a debt-based economy. The truth is a lot of races are kind of different and want to do their own thing. It's called self-determination. It's one of the causes of World War I. I know, I'm one of those crazy guys that understands a lot of our history and actually researched it. I know, I get it. But it's like self-determination when there's a group of people that want to have their own culture. The way let's just talk about the Indian thing. So this is a PSYOP, obviously. Scenes today from some vigils held around Canada an hour of the 215 children whose remains were discovered at the site of the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. Whenever you see empty shoes, you know it's emotional manipulation. Guys, more babies are aborted every day in every city in Canada than 250. Those shoes were made in Chinese factories by kids. All right? It's ridiculous. So why are they doing it? Because a lot of people are now waking up to the fact they don't want their kids to be injected with poison, wearing a mask, taught lies, aborted. And so they're trying to use this like guilt, shame bullshit to distract. Guys, the whole anti-racist movement is what destroyed the Indians. Okay, back then, the whole thing was Indians weren't allowed to be Indians, right? You couldn't have the Mohawks or the Iroquois or the Sioux. The Sioux isn't a real word. The Cherokee. So they were brought in to whitewash them. The word racism literally comes from this. They said if you want to wear your traditional headdress and have your spirituality and smoke your peace pipe and live in a longhouse and have your own government, you were racist because everyone's the same, they said. And so they had to make the Indians act like the blank man, to act like everyone else to destroy them. And that's literally what genocide is. Genocide is the destruction of a people, of a culture. And so when someone calls me racist, it's really interesting because I don't take pride in my skin color. I don't feel like I'm better than other races inherently. I mean, I am better than a lot of people because of my my skill set, morality, high IQ. I'm 6'8". I can move a lot of stones. But racist simply means you acknowledge that different groups of people are different nations and want to operate in their own self-interest, which is true. And a lot of these cities, like the Albanians, Armenians, Filipinos, Koreans, Chinese, they all know this. Like, Trudeau is sorry about the rape cages. Hilarious. Yeah, they're the people that are doing these articles and the Marxists and all these guys, they're the ones doing it. They're doing the very thing they're complaining about. I would have no problem whatsoever with self-determined Indian tribes doing their own thing. Someone like me would go, oh, that's what those guys do. They're crushing it over there. They're all about salmon and hunting and headdresses and all this. Man, they are crushing it. There's a near infinite amount of land where people can do their own thing. The fact that I have a few acres in North Idaho where we want our culture to have our own way of life and have get-togethers and skill learning stuff and all that, it's like it infuriates the Borg, the blob. The minute I call for violence or define myself or my tribe by someone else and hating someone else, then go ahead and write your articles. I'll give you a hint. It's not happening. I've been through those phases. Fortunately, I'm done with all that. True diversity is one of their biggest inversions. Right, exactly. They want everyone to buy the same shit, shop the same stores, have the same opinions, and just have different skin color. And which is ridiculous. One of the things that got me kicked off Twitter, which had 80,000 retweets when my account was deleted, was I had all the late night comedians, black, white, up, down. They're all dressed the same. They all look the same. I said, same opinion on everything, same presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, comedy, in quotes. Because no one could argue against it, so they just deleted my whole account and blamed it on me making fun of David Hogg. That was the real thing that made the beast wake up to me. The Daily Beast. Dude, I ain't mad at you, Daily Beast. I think you actually, the fact you put in some of my funny stuff is great. You're reporting it. I get it. I'm not going to come at you. But it's like that Kootenai County guy, like he didn't even put anything of what I say. Diversity means no diversity. Yeah, they have a skin tone fetish. And so I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm anti-satanic. And if you look up the word Semite, Arabs are Semites. So it's ridiculous. It's all stupid. All right, here's a screen grab that I can show you. This was from the beginning. They couldn't argue against it. Like, I was a rhetorical kill shot guy. And they knew it because the truth is the thing that you always got to stick to. Nothing cute. Don't be cute. Don't be subversive. Don't be fancy. Yeah, give me a second here. Let me find this thing here. Browse. Just say the truth. This is what they call comedy. And once you see it, you realize they don't want a black community. They don't even know what that means. Like, what does community mean? It's people with like similar foods, way of raising children, blah, 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 blah. All right, so here was the picture. So I invert the inverters. I'm an inverter. This photo worked against them. It's all the late night guys that turned out to be propagandists. They all are dressed the same. They look very elite, very highfalutin. Looks like they're looking down at you. And I wrote, every person in this photo, same political party. Think of the statistical anomalies of this. Endorsed same candidate, same stance on every issue, abortion, guns, everything. When over half the country disagrees with them. You can't argue that that's a business model. That is somehow, that these companies are motivated by supply and demand, supply chains. The customer is always right. More than half the country disagrees with them on everything. Everybody rural sees human beings not as a parasite. They don't see unborn babies. The people in North Idaho that agree with these people are literally Biden supporters from California. Because if you live here long enough and you don't have a city, you see human beings as beautiful. You see children as a miracle. You see a gun as a way to protect your cows and your homestead. You know, our urban is 7,000 people here. Sandpoint, which is liberal, but I like a lot of the liberals in there. I swear to God, I know that sounds crazy, but I do. Like I go into like a health food store. The people that work there are really sweet. I have no problem with the people here, but our city is 7,000. Imagine a city of 7 million, how fucked up they get. I'll show you who understands. Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider on SNL. Much late night comedy is less about being funny and more indoctrination by comedic imposition. People aren't really laughing at it as much as cheering on the rhetoric. It no longer resembles a comedy show. It's more like some kind of liberal Klan meeting. Yeah, he's half Filipino. Those guys are some of the most based guys in the world. He's also half allegedly Jewish. I don't know how that's an ethnicity. It's not. I'm not even going to get into that. But I like Rob Schneider. I'm an eighth of whatever that is, the Jew thing. You know, So like, it's kind of interesting how dudes like us can understand the power structures and but not be insane. Duterte. Oh yeah, the Filipinos crush. But think about that. And you can't think for 1 second that people's ethnic backgrounds don't influence their views. The machine wants everybody to become the same and then call it diversity. It's classic satanic inversion. I said that October 3rd, 2017. That was the beginning of the true destabilization and breakdown of my ability to make an income. And they say I had moderate comedic success. I've done a few of those guys' shows that are right there. I used to tour with Jimmy Fallon. Leno isn't on there, but I used to do his show a lot. I was in a top 100% of comedians. And it's like alt platforms like Rogan. 3 times I did mainstream. I starred in a movie. I was in Sandler movies. I'm not bragging. I'm just refuting that. No, I had extreme comedic success. The machine never promoted me directly because I was never bought. I was always saying shit like that. You go back to 2012 and I'm doing funny jokes. Like I did a song in 2006 about how I wanted Jimmy Fallon to get AIDS. They want diversity in skin, but not in thought. Exactly. And so I'm anti-satanic, and a lot of quote-unquote Jews are practicing Satanism, not Judaism. And so, you know, Jesus said, in him there is no Jew or Gentile. You know, I'm a Christian. And in Christianity, there isn't this division. You know, it's like a universal way of looking at the world. And I don't care if your dick is clipped or you wear an absurdly small hat that doesn't protect you from the sun. I got nothing but love for you, man. And I know the paranoia people must be feeling because the collapse is imminent. Guys, plywood has gone up 700%. These are not good signs. All right, like, what do I got for you? And everybody knows I'm always on the verge of becoming a full-blown Mexican warlord. Check this out.
Verga es puto, porque yo soy gringo diablo. Gringo diablo con todos los agua. Yo tengo todos los agua, americano. Necesito más agua, por favor.
Sí.
Yo tengo todos los agua. Mariposa. Mariposa no tengo no agua.
No water.
Por favor.
No agua para tú. Trabajo, americano. Trabajo, patito.
Sí.
Sí, es verdad, patito, es verdad. Venga, es gay.
Here was my, I know I didn't mention Memorial Day yesterday, so this is what I posted about my thoughts on Memorial Day and how I honor the fallen. Hey, I just wanted to give a little Memorial Day message for everybody. I think the best way to honor the fallen is to speak the truth about what causes the psychological conditions and economic conditions of war itself. And the best way you can honor the fallen soldiers, in my opinion, is by being fruitful and neighborly and be grateful and try to create a world that doesn't have war. What's that?
And Wukai.
That's right. Have big, beautiful families. Because to honor the fallen is to pray that no more fall. And that's my prayer for today on Memorial Day. And to honor them, we will keep speaking truth about what causes war and what we can do to prevent it in the future. God bless America and the world and all of your families. Yeah, and in the article quoted allegedly a Vietnam vet who called me a clear and present danger. None of this has been verified, by the way. It's just total bullshit. And but my question for him would be like, do you think what you did in Vietnam was good? Do you think going 5,000 miles away to shoot a bunch of rice farmers for what? Because you didn't like their economic system? Seriously? That makes you a hero? No. War is a result of spells, and I'm watching the spellcraft happen right now with China, where they're saying, oh, No one wants to speak the truth on Wuhan laboratory making the corona. I'm like, there's no evidence. There's no evidence that no one's isolated this COVID-19 or proven it does anything. And how could you backtrack it to one lab in China? That's ridiculous. The creator of the test said the test wasn't accurate. Fauci was like one of the architects of the gay, I'm not going to claim it's a genocide, but the AZT thing with AIDS, I mean, that's crazy. And so when people say that, like clear and present danger, that's a guy who watches a lot of, if that guy exists, all he does is watch movies and fetishize himself. He didn't learn. If he really did have friends fall over there, the way to make it so that more don't fall is to speak the truth. Men and women are different. Other groups of people want to live different lives. The Vietnamese nation did not want to live like us. And to go over there and force them with violence and murder and family, it's like that's evil. And I know that people get overtaken by evil and then they come to terms with it. And I'm not condemning the guy if he even exists. But like the fact he hasn't learned from that mistake is crazy to me. Like to go over there, as Bruce Springsteen famously said, to kill the yellow man. Remember when Springsteen could say yellow man? And then they keep changing it. When you don't have metaphysical truth, you just keep changing the rules every year until everybody either completely submits, like Stockholm style, and just says, whatever, just tell me what to say and I'll say it. Which means you have no logos. You give up your spark of divinity. Your soul has been neutered. Or you just get kicked out of society. Not kicked out, but, the media says that you're a fringe character. Well, good. Because I don't think those people have a very promising future. I don't think those people are in a world that is good, true, and beautiful. There's nothing. The longer I'm out of their world, the more disgusting it appears. Because it's like, imagine right now living in a city, how many lies you have to agree to in order to get food. In order to just, like your whole job to get money to buy food is all a lie. Every one of these marketing teams and, hedge fund managers and all that, their life is crazy. They have to pretend that their stocks have value. All right. And so then they have to walk outside and virtue signal to not get beat up somehow. Wear a mask for something that doesn't exist the way they feel it exists. Go into a store, pretend that all the stuff in the shelves wasn't made by slaves in other countries, that the fiat currency, the petrodollar is the reason that, a lot of these workers are getting $1 a day and that guy makes 1,000 a day to lie. And so he gets all these products and then he virtue signals and calls himself a parasite and promotes genocidal, abortion and all that. It's like, that's insane. The dead is currently digging the holes to bury the dead. Yeah. And it's like, I understand why the Daily Beast views me like that. Not that the Daily Beast, the writer at the Daily Beast. I actually think I don't know what his motivations are or anything, but it's like, he at least quoted me and it was funny. There is no compound. There's no hate group. Like, it's just, we're building a foundation. I understand the fear. In the very beginning of Bertaria, I was like, yeah, we need a place of our own, a place to live. And so that's all been like edited and made it look crazy. Then we realized over the last year that Bertaria is where you live. And that's a main point of the documentary, where it's like your backyard is Bertaria. To get people to all move and go somewhere, that's not viable. Very quickly on in the Bertaria process, we realized that we wanted a place for camping in the summer. It's still private. If a donor acts weird or we don't like or seems sketchy, you're not invited and it's private property and you have no right to go. It's not a business. The numbers would be small. because we didn't get the amount of donors that we thought we would get to get like a $2 million place. My friend actually bought that place, though. They're doing a very good job with it. And it's so funny. Like, that place that we were originally going to buy, it was run by people who call themselves Jews who trafficked children and murdered a bunch of children. You don't see the Daily Beast giving a flying fuck about that. But that's okay. It's not their job. So there's still an investigation going on at that place, that quote-unquote compound, run by literally urban people who call themselves Jews, brought in kids without parents. A bunch were murdered, sexualized. The word help was carved into one of the bunk beds. So I'm quite happy the way God's story is unfolding, and we are building our own at a more inexpensive, more raw piece of land. I'm very happy the way things are going, but, you know, the writers of these have no desire to show that ongoing criminal investigation. I want to talk about Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge was a guy who was selling guns that the government shot. Well, not the government, a few members of a certain alphabet organization. They shot his family. Right over the ridge, there was a children's camp that we were going to buy. We didn't raise the money. We raised like 300 grand. We needed like 2 million to get that place, but whatever. Right over the ridge was a place where they were bringing diverse children to rape, murder, you know. It's like, and I haven't seen one article about that. There's still police tape there. There's still like little skulls being discovered. It's like Randy Weaver, yeah, he was like a loner. He was like a dude who was like selling guns. Guys, guns, a car is more violent than a gun. I've learned to cross my T's and dot my I's with the legal system and taxes and all this stuff because you don't want to give them an inch in that world. I have no interest. I just paid a fuckload in taxes. So if anybody wants to donate, entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy and P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. One dude as a friend asked him to saw off a shotgun. Yeah, there it is. It's like the Randy Weaver story is tragic, not the way you think it is. Right over the ridge was I'm not going to say Jewish run, but it was a couple who called themselves Jews were raping and killing kids from inner cities. You understand, these diversity programs is how you get kids without parents in the middle of nowhere and you traffic them to Canada, allegedly. It's like, so when they compare me to Ruby Ridge, I'm like, I pray not, because that's a tragedy. Why don't you look at an actual compound that was involved in the murder of children? And so my friend is going to do a great job with that place and make it an awesome family retreat, but it's nuts. All right, anyway, here's some more super chats. Classical Learner. Hey, BB, happy belated birthday. I've been busy for the last week getting to know my baby daughter. What a blessing. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, Classical Learner. Go check out Classical Learner Bear. His books are amazing on YouTube. Sign up for his classes. The guy's a champion. Also, special thank you to Woodshop Bear and Little Bear Blanket Shop. The carving and blankets you sent are of such high quality. What amazing craftsmanship, the type of work you would expect 100 years ago. This is the beauty of all of this. As China stops wanting to make endless stuff for us, as the Mexicans get rich and don't want to do all our labor, the good news is, it's putting us in a position where we're back to making our own stuff. You're not going to be flooded. You can't go into a store anymore in the future and buy 10 flat screen TVs and, you know, a new car every year and all this stuff. But what you get will last because it will be made by bears. It will be made by people because we're so far ahead of the curve on this thing, guys. The infrastructure of the Great Bear Trail, the bear meetups, all this stuff will be a blessing the more you do this. All right. Woodshop Bear says, cities are fallen because deferment of responsibility leads to death and morality. Exactly. When you stop caring about your community because someone else will later, your community dies. Exactly. Why rural living is the only way. When you see something, you handle it because it's your backyard and nobody else will. Right. In rural living, when you see somebody with a flat tire, you stop and help. If you see a wolf coming for your livestock, you shoot them because you can't call. Like in Boundary County where we have Ursa Rio, there's one police car. So it's like, that's why people do their own stuff. That's why this influx of Californian Biden guys, it's like, and bear in mind, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a guy. I'm not in that world. But to support Joe Biden is a unique level of insanity, in my opinion. I mean, he's an open pedophile, allegedly. Has dementia. He can't remember his name. So to think he's a good leader is insane. And so these people come in and they want to be pampered and butt pumped. And it's like that. The reason that we are pro-life, pro-guns, pro-family, pro-organic farming, anti-vaccine, all this stuff is because in our world, you have to do it yourself and you need to have a community responsibility. It is not because we hate you or we hate rape survivors or we hate the environment. Quite the opposite. Our environment is very beautiful and it intertwines with nature very well. My life is very intertwined with nature, and I bet if you did one of your gay little studies on carbon footprint, mine would be negative. We raise our own crops. We don't ship everything in from China. Everything's locally sourced. The grain my animals eat is from down the street. You understand? That's why we're not crazy. That's why we're not like, they're kind of global warming. You know, it's because we don't live like that. It's why we see a baby as a blessing, not a curse. Because if you live in the, definitely check out Mouse Utopia Experiment. If you live in that type of fake honeycomb environment with unlimited resources and no responsibility, you become deranged, pathological. You kill your own, the mice would eat their own kids. They became homosexuals. They engaged in incest, everything that you see in cities. It's a mental illness. And so that's why God will always wipes the cities when it gets to a point of non-compliance. Because the thing is, a lot of China is now getting that urban disease, not having enough children, not being connected to nature, not being willing to work for $1 an hour. You know, they're getting all that life from the farms who come in and have that work ethic. That's running dry. And so we're going to be seeing a fall of cities. Fact. I can make that claim all day long, whether it's tomorrow or 10 years from now. I don't know. But it's happening. It's happening right now. Hey guys, do you know where I can find this legend the Daily Beast just wrote an article about? He sounds like he gets it. Oh, totally. I love it. Yeah, and I'm not mad at, don't troll the writer, don't troll the Daily Beast. I'm not mad at them at all. I think he was probably trying to do a fair job based on his worldview. And I'll just say it over and over again. And you know, I know you guys are witness to my life. It's why I've live streamed so honestly every day. I have no hate for these people. I just want to grow. You know, fruit not blood. Be fruitful and multiply. Don't be fruity and boil guy. I don't agree with sodomy. I think it's bad for you. I think it's bad for people. I don't think my children should be around it, but I don't want to imprison gays. I think the cities are almost like a rat trap at this point, and vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And so there's still opportunities for a lot of these people to grow out of the hell they've created for themselves, and I hope they do. I pray they do. Just because someone butt fucks and, you know, is parasitic in a city doesn't mean they're doomed. I used to have promiscuous sex with women and drink all the time, and until I was 35, I never had my own chicken. So do you want to condemn them, kill them, and say, oh, you don't have a path to redemption? No. What you do is you create an alternative so that those people have a way out. Heroin addicted, you know, male prostitute on the street, you know, I want them out of there. I want them to eventually get into a program where they farm to like sweat out the poison, sweat out the sin, and then have a beautiful life. It's not about, our battle is not flesh and blood. You know, a few years ago, I'd go through some dark times when they were firing my mom for me because of me, or like my vet buddy died. And I was so upset about AIPAC and the Netanyahu lies and all the media lies of weapons of mass destruction. And I saw firsthand my friend, Justin Roque, who was, you know, a Marine, basically kill himself with fentanyl after seeing what all the lies were and having a moral injury that he couldn't deal with. I was very angry. And so it's easy to cut up those live streams and make me look crazy, but I don't regret it. It was a natural emotion. You know, you go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. That's the path of suffering, of getting through something. And so anger is always going to be there. And I hope that I help people who are going through angry phase, angry at Jews or the degeneracy or gays or whatever. It's like, you can't blame Jews for the death of your buddy. You can't blame war on Jews. You can't blame street crime on blacks. You know, it's you can't do that. You can't blame whites for colonization or whites for, you know, slavery or whatever. It's just like it's just ridiculous. You can't blame you know, Leopold for the horrors of Ghana or whatever. Like, you weren't there. You don't even know any of this shit. You can't blame the Germans for, you know, the rollerbladers. It's like we're all in this world to shed the victim consciousness, to shed, as the Eastern philosophies call samskara, the burdens we're born with that we have to get through. And the more pain we get through, the better. The more pain we shed, the more we realize that this world is a hollow mirror sometimes, that it's attempting to scare us, and our ego like lashes out at mirrors, breaking mirrors, until you realize you're alone and the mirrors were never even there. That's my goal. And, you know, if I think a lot of these writers for media pieces are so far away from shedding their samskara, their victim consciousness, their pain, that they don't even perceive me properly. Like, they don't even see what I'm saying. And I wish them the best. I pray for them to get through it, because I know they can. My own father is deep into that world. Deep into that world of like self-imposed hell. All right, here's some more. All right. Dear Owen, thanks so much for these streams. I'm not always on board with everything you say, but your live streams are always crushing. My life is so much better since I started listening to you. Thanks a million. Much love from South Africa. All right, South Africa. I love it. Ciao, BB. Just want to pay respect to the Don of Crush. Salute. Yeah, if I was actually a cult leader, my name would be David Karush. Operating on different wavelengths. Yeah. And you don't need them to go away for you to crush. Me and Amy were looking at these articles as they were just piling in. And I realized in January they did an article that like a new cult leader had moved into North Idaho or something. I didn't even know the article was there. I was like, whoa. Nothing happens. The only way these things become bad is when you're scared or something about it is right and you start projecting. And it's like, or you're not confident in the way you live. And so then you start manifesting it, and that's when people run into problems. And so I hope, you know, I've already met a few of the neighbors up there. They're awesome. You know, the illusion they're trying to paint is so ridiculous, and so few people even read it. You know, there's this one massively edited, ridiculous hit video that was on YouTube that was linked in all of these pieces. Guys, it was at 700 views. No one cares. You know, no one cares. This world is not, so many people are waking up to the realities of this world that they're not drawn to this type of slanderous nonsense anymore. It doesn't like excite them. Want to know what excites them? Lerner Bear seeing a new baby girl in this world. Seeing how many seeds are in a tomato. Seeing bear meetups where people get together. And it's like, you're learning together, you're growing together. It's unbelievable. It's like a miracle every day. Prey behavior incites predators. Exactly. And yeah, I'm not mad at them. All right, let's continue. I want to see the future labor force. of this beautiful world. It's your own family. Watch this. We got a 3-man team.
Great job, Walter. Ready to milk, Charlie?
There it is. That's the future, guys. How about we resource our labor back home? I think a lot of this mania that's happening right now is because people don't want to just accept the fact that the slavery of China is ending. And I see it as a blessing. This was a book written in 1890 or 85. Look at this real quick. 16-year-old masturbator left, 21-year-old abstainer right. 50-year-old masturbator left, 70-year-old abstainer right. This was, let me get the book. Jim Bob looked it up. It's a $625 book. Hilarious that I remember that, not the year. 1882. It's the grabbler in me. I wrote, that would be funny if there is no porn in the coming work camps and slaves got super smart and strong. A real catch-22. That's the irony. The irony is these work camps will probably be the best thing for a lot of people. Because none of this is new. Not guys, the 2,000-year-old Bible, 1,800-year-old Bible or whatever, tells you, masturbation is self-harm. Don't spill your seed. It's vital life force. It's like, to start that circuit on yourself is bad. These work camps that are obviously coming, guys, and that's not fear porn. It's just obvious. It's not going to kill you to be in a work camp. It's like, just, I hope you don't end up that desperate where you end up in a work camp, but like, we're going to get our factories back home one way or another. Either you accept it like Woodshop Bear and everybody's doing and accept the homegrown home, or it's like, there's going to be mass production facilities in America again, and Canada, and England, and Ireland, and all these places. And so, because we became these people on the left, these hunched over masturbators. And it's like, the irony about the work camps is they're probably going to be healthy for people. Like, compared to how they live now, like, they're going to wake up, they're going to work, 16, 18 hours a day. They'll put nets around the factories like they did in China, where you can't even kill yourself properly. And you'll grow out of it. But people are going to have to put in a hard day's work every day, no matter what, one way or another. And that's why I think people are so mad at me. Some people, some of these city people, because like, my message isn't of hate. It's not blaming demographics. It's not fascist or any of the stuff that they claim. But if it's true, their future is very, very upside down for them. That they won't be able, the ironies, of course, is right now, these urban liberal elite are completely surviving on slavery in other countries. 100%, and war and bombs. And it's like, they're the fascists, whatever. And fascist is another word. I get it. But it's like, my homegrown rural message should make them happy, because right now me and the Bears are taking pressure off the beast so that these masturbators can last another week in their cities. Like, we are consuming less. We're taking less resources from the system. When you have your own security, when you have paramilitary, when you know people that train homeowners so that they can defend themselves, blah, blah, you don't have to fire all the cops. It's like, all right, here we go. This is more super chats. Thank you. Thank you, North Star Bear. Magic Squares, resources, building Bertaria, crushing, COD, Indians, alcohol. Thanks, BB, and COD. Loving the build updates, will not be deterred onwards. Thank you. It was very generous. For the coffee, Crush On, thank you. Yeah, and guys, don't be deterred by any of these hit piece things. Like, that group, and I know you guys won't be, but that group is so small and effed You know, I like how Quantum of Conscious calls a lot of people drifters. There's a lot of people that just drift. Like anywhere they're told to go, they just go, oh, they just drift. And that isn't scarcity, scarce cities. Yeah, scarcity, right. When he said where you can even kill yourself properly, I lost it. Yeah. And yeah, and for people with autism, I'm being very funny this whole stream. I'm just throwing in little bits of humor. And if you don't understand, it's okay. A lot do, though. Yo, BB, the beast roots for you as long as you don't get too much reach. I think what I'm promoting, the beast doesn't, because we're not trying to be the beast or compete with the beast. So I don't think that the beast is actually mad. It's people in the beast that are mad because they realize the beast won't be able to. Picture like a ship just full of barnacles. And I'm like telling other barnacles, like, dude, we can go somewhere else. We can have a barnacle farm. The ship will float better. And that's kind of like, but right now the ship's like about to sink. It's like so way down. The beast only cares if you want a spot. Yeah, exactly. People don't know how to laugh without the laugh track. Well, we do, Freight Train Bear. But I know what you're saying. God, any more super chats? entropystream.live/app/OwenBenjamin Let's see what else I got. I think I've gotten everything. Okay, let's open some packages, shall we? If that's okay with the Daily Beast. The grifter concept is from a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Grabber author. Interesting. Outwitting the devil. You can't. You can't outwit the devil. You can only just do what's good, true, and beautiful. All right. Fragile. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Very exciting. I sent you stuff on your phone. Okay. Thank you, Connington Bear. Keep crushing, BB. Oh, thank you, Red Pill, Ohio. And Lilac Bear, can you let Lilac Bear know you will be reaching out to the place she sent your gift? Yes, I will do that soon. I apologize, Lilac Bear. I've just been, I forgot. But yeah, it's at one of these nurseries. I'll figure it out. Thank you. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's read the letter before we see what's in it. Let's have some self-restraint this time. Greetings, Ursa Major. Oh, fearless leader of Ursa Manor and Bertari at large. First of all, how dare you? I was raised to seek the Latin derivative of any term to which I might inquire. My mother's upbringing allowed her the advantages of being the only daughter with 3 brothers of an English teacher, also a military man, at Rochester High, who sent her to summer school for C's. Her peers simultaneously laughed at her while fearing her father. Hilarious. Sounds like a Carl Brown type. She grew up in Fairport, just up the road from your hometown, and yes, that side of my family is full of some fun stuff. For example, my uncles were in Demde. My great-grandfather was a suffragette, allegedly, and Order of the Eastern Star confirmed. And so many of the men died in war at such young ages that she hardly had any extended family. The point being, I have my mother and her upstate New York upbringing to thank for my etymological curiosity and overall decency of character and appreciation for yours. This is a wonderfully written letter. How dare you? Should I do it in the old-timey voice? I hail from the middle of nowhere originally, currently and literally. A land ripe with agriculture and Second Amendment support, but no shortage of boomers and Buicks seeking BJs or towelheads and Toyotas or asshats and Audis. None of these equal the potential drama and ignorance that can be found in the infamous lesbians and Subarus. I spent some time woofing, organic farming, in southern Humboldt County, California, and lesbians and Subarus are on your radar out there, like one step under miniature Mexicans in F-450s, cartel allegedly, and I keep my eye on them here as well in the lesser panhandle. It is I, Alexi, Alex with an I, Abraska Bear. If I may be so verified, please, thank you. Welcome, Abraska Bear. I followed and come to know of you in such a way that I would stand next to you in a field of battle, in a field of corn, a grove of cedars, a nation torn, and ask, how's the air up there? Since I found you online somewhere during the coverage of Confusion last year, however, synchronistic flow has been off the charts. I recently made some good old IRS issues and found myself in a better financial system than I have ever been, and timing and good fortune had me able to sign up for Bertaria Times and unauthorized.tv during the greatest time of the year to be planting seeds. I am free of student loan debt for the first time in over 10 years, and I made sure to stimulate the economy of Bertaria with my stimuli. In me has grown an immense amount of respect for you, sir, and I wish upon you all of the protection afforded by our Creator. I can only imagine how relieved your soul is and how full your heart is to have built your beautiful kingdom out there in God's country, having left hell, SoCal, in the rear view. I know nothing of Los Angeles or Hollywood, as you do expect to acknowledge the undeniable repulsion I feel when I have been in that godforsaken desert of deviance and rather out-of-place golf courses. An area you probably know, Palm Springs. We also lived in Palm Desert and Desert Hot Springs when I was but a babe in the mid to late 80s. I found my place in this country after some wandering in many different occupations, even a brief stint in the USAF and Tex. I consider myself fortunate that I was never sucked into that diabolical desert triangle, or that I never ended up on a milk carton. My older brother, who was once my hero, is lost out there still to this day. I just now carry on with some serious synchronicities. Enclosed are some gifts to you and yours, among which you will find some old books. These have been in my personal library for long enough, and I can think of no better place for there than the shelf in your home. Please understand that in the last few years I've experienced so much death and loss to my immediate family, and so much has been bequeathed to us that it became clear that holding on to so much stuff from my past was literally keeping me there. Once upon a time, I managed a bookstore on the main street of my small town. I spent around 70 hours a week in there for several years and loved it. I went through my pregnancy up to the point of weeks before the birth of my son and took some leave and returned and was in heaven, seemingly. It was a family affair, and as I write this to you, it is no longer. The name of our bookstore was The Bard's Den, and how I lost my dream job is another story involving from chimos to genuine lifelong aspirations. I don't know what that means. Chemos? Your content has become about the only media I can ingest these days, and I love it all, even and especially your vulgarity. The things of which you speak hold great meaning, and may they carry on in saving some of these younger ones from themselves. Since the days of my youth, my mother was always referencing movies and music and books, old and new, and we had our own ways of communicating. I have referred to a degenerate as a gamma minus for many moons, as I read most of the dystopia, post-apocalyptic literature of the 20th century. You have helped me bring around to so much, as I always considered myself an eternal student of history, and I must say that your spell breaking is miraculous to witness, an experience in real time. Even your casual references to movies and such like Gattaca, which always struck with me, to Deadwood, which my family owned the DVD set. My all-time favorite line from that show equals announcing your plans. That's a good way to hear a God laugh. Yeah, totally. Announcing your plans is a good way to hear God laugh. That's hilarious. One last dose of synchronistic sweetness. About the time that I gained access to more of Bertaria through unauthorized.tv was the day that Milo Yiannopoulos pinned you between a rock and a Trinitarian intervention. That very day, a dear old friend of mine who has been going through a rough patch found me after he had been out of touch for a year or so. His name is Miles, and you know what I always called him, Milo. I granted him my time and help, as we are in a position to do so, living with and taking care of my father, the boomer, who I will also be able to keep from dying in a nursery home, God willing. just as I was able to take care of my mother. Hopefully, my old buddy Milo will be checking into Bertaria soon. But to sweeten the sink even more, Milo and I used to drive my mom crazy, making skate wax bars on our stovetop when we were kids. We ruined some of her stuff, but it was especially the ladle that we heard about. So for the longest time, the ladle was a code word for like pushing things a bit too far. The ladle. That's hilarious. And to complete the Trinisync, he and I once lived together, and back then he was a steel worker. The company name was Trinity Steel. A few more kudos and props to share before signing off. I've always had such a love for music, especially Pink Floyd. And you know, how you do what you do. I say this because I became something toward music, songs, bands, and artists after the death of my mother, and this was deeply disturbing for me. Sometime before the axing of Tea Time, I came across episode 1115, and you went off on some Pearl Jam. Firstly, your impressions slay me. I mean, bring tears of laughter, especially your musical impressions. But even things like John Levi and your slaughter of current figureheads like Dyer and Shapiro, and your trunk is golden. But that day, your Pearl Jam had me in stitches and aided me in my musical struggles, such as Medicine is Laughter. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid, and it's obvious as the dream of the 90s is alive in my musical taste and wardrobe. Thank you for showing them for what they are, reminding me at least 10 fucking things I hate about Eddie Vedder and Gamma males. Onward. It is incredible to be able to share in all of this, and even the chasing of your live stream is all worth the crushing capabilities and gathering of gravy. Your friend in the good fight, Abraska Bear. Let's check out what Abraska Bear sent. What an awesome letter. New Enlarged Pocket Anthology of Robert Frost Poems. Nice. Beautiful. I bet he got a lot of heat from the media. What is this? Oh ho! First step on the moon, an ounce of Sylve. The first step on the moon. Unbelievable. It always blows my mind that people still believe that. They're like, how dare you not think that we drove a car on the moon? It's like, dude. Is there going to be a compilation of all the Bears videos with the mass challenge? Yeah, well, it's going to be in the, another mason jar. Beautiful. It's going to be in the documentary. Oh, we got another super chat. entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Just received an email from a Jerry and Harry. They run a Yerba Mate podcast on YouTube and are looking for a guest host while they are on a pump about, like a walkabout. And they're also wondering if you know where they can get paramilitary training for the low cost of $400. Hilarious. Yeah, anybody that knows anything about the world would read that and go, what the fuck is this person talking about? To get like North Idaho compound military training would be like $5,000. That's just crazy. Like, dude, that's one of the problems with this current media blitz is they're almost like promising something that's financially impossible. Where now I guarantee I get a bunch of dudes like, dude, can I get paramilitary training for $400? It's like, on what planet can you get like paramilitary training for $400? Unbelievable. That's how you know either the writers are intentionally intentionally deceptive, or they know nothing about what they're talking about. How could anyone? It's like, oh yeah, for only $400, we can camp for a week in North Idaho and be trained military people. Like, what? That's insane. Who wants to spend 500 rounds? Oh, dude. And do you know how much bullets cost now? It's like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. To get paramilitary training, and I don't even know what paramilitary means. I was doing that joke about my own paramilitary back when they were calling Gavin McInnes a paramilitary insurgent. I thought it was funny. Like that, I haven't shot a gun in 6 months. Actually, no, 6 months. It's been 6 months. And that's not because I think guns are bad. I think they're great. I should train more. Right now, bullets are preposterously expensive. But paramilitary training. Come on, guys. Come on, everyone. I do not have a home garden this year, but this is okay. We will get there. I have had many in the past from a 7-acre pumpkin patch. Whoa, guys, that's a lot of pumpkins. To growing herbs in a windowsill and canned many a jar of salsa, etc. We have always had a vast inventory of mason jars, and I felt obligated to share with you as an undeveloped marketing idea. Behold Bertaria nesting jars. I love it. Genius. I'm on board. No, you misheard. They said paramilitary training, and it involves gardening. Oh, that's the move, guys. Dude, I always get really inspired by like hit piece articles. It's like, so now we're doing paramilitary, and it's all, and we use, oh shit, it becomes communist. Hammers and sickles. Dude, I get communist imagery. It's like, imagine a paramilitary and everything is revolved around farming and building stuff. Guys, the hammer and sickle is such a powerful symbol. Wow. All right. Paramilitary is a jackass word they used during the Colombian drug war. We have nothing like it in the USA. Yeah, and I'm pretty close to a Colombian drug lord. If anybody wants, this should be sent, obviously, to the media. Because I have become a Colombian drug lord.
Verga es puto, porque yo soy gringo diablo. Gringo diablo con todos los agua. Yo tengo todos los agua, americano. Necesito más agua, por favor.
Sí.
Yo tengo todo los agua. Mariposa. Mariposa no tengo agua.
Agua, por favor.
No agua para tú. Trabajo, americano. Trabajo, patito.
Sí.
Sí, es verdad, patito, es verdad. Venga, es gay.
So I'm actually a Colombian drug lord, allegedly. Dude, what if we had a hammer and ladle? Or like a ladle? What should be, let's invert the inversion. What should be our symbol? Like, because the hammer and sickle is an awesome symbol. So let's use a ladle and something else. I don't know. You guys come up with it. Hit me up on BertariaTimes.com. Or no, Bertaria Times app or my Instagram that some people know about. First year Latin. Excellent. Latin grammar. These books are more dangerous than any paramilitary, guys, because this is how you know how to not be tricked. I'm going to use this with my kids constantly. Using Latin. Guys, everybody's obsessed with like the, we got to get our hands on the Babylonian Talmud to know their game plan. No. That's the game plan. How to use Latin. Latin for Americans. This means it's stupid. Thanks a lot. Okay, so we got mason jars, got a little bit of silver. That was a very successful opening. Woodshop Bear Knife, made in America. Made in Bertaria. Ladle and seeds. Yeah, but that might just look like dirt. That's not too bad. Axe and ladle. Yeah. The axe and the ladle. That's a good one. I like that. Axe and saw. And there's a bicycle chain. And think about this. Think about how pro-black I am. I'm telling everybody to lock their bikes up. That lowers anti-black resentment if people don't get their bike stolen. So much hate in this world against the bees is because their bikes were stolen. So how do you prevent it? You lock the bike, and then you don't have a 32-year beef. Me, I was 9 years old. I was 9 years old, guys. Hey, look, nice. Beautiful. Let's read the letter. Dear Owen and also Amy, I've included a crocheted gift which I made myself. I call him Barreled. Hey, look, it's barreled. And he likes to sip tea. I hope you enjoy his company. I was wondering if you could talk about the way you homeschool with the age gaps between your children. We don't worry about it right now. We just answer all their questions. I think homeschooling is based around just answering. we're being interrogated all day by like the silliest cop team in history. It's Charlie. Oh, by the way, I think Charlie is supposed to be speaking some sort of Mandarin. Like, I swear to God, guys, now that Charlie's starting to talk, he's supposed to be like Vietnamese. He's like, hello, mama. Hello. He literally sounds Asian. He's like, oh, mama. Oh, I swear to God, he talks like that. So basically, homeschooling is just being interrogated for 18 years by like really silly cops. Where it's like, so what do you know about the scorpion? It's like the gang. No, actual scorpions. Do you know any interesting facts? Is a water scorpion real? Tell me. Is a water scorpion real? And then Charlie comes in as like the good cop. He's like, hello, mama. Ha ha. Hee haw ha ha. And then Walter goes, what Officer Charles is trying to say here is, what do you know about the water scorpion? And Charlie's like, I can help with homeschooling. And yeah, Brett Pike. Yeah, hit him up. That's what he does. My three are close in age to yours, and we've recently started homeschooling. Good move, by the way. However, I'm struggling some days to help my oldest with his activities. Just let him, whatever he's interested in, facilitate it. So if he's like, ha mama. No, that's my son. If he's just like really interested in something, just be the middleman. Like, connect the dots. He loves his squids. Oh, yeah. Like yesterday, it was 2 squids and a fish. Me and Charlie and Walter were 2 squids and I was a fish. And we're on the trampoline and they were like protecting the fish and they were keeping the alligators away. It's just let them dream. Just let them be creative. And whatever they're interested in, facilitate it. Like for every birthday and Christmas, my only present growing up, which I'm not only am I not complaining about, I think it kept me from being materialistic and made me such a legend. My mom would take me to the book warehouse in Syracuse and I could get any book I wanted on any topic. That was my birthday and Christmas present every year my whole life. So if I was just really interested in like ninjas or like World War II, that kind of backfired with the media, but you know, I'm just stating what Hitler claimed. He wanted to get rid of the parasites. How is that so quotable? Everyone knows I don't like Hitler. Like, that's like a thing I make fun of all the time. All right, anyway. We do 2 hours Monday through Thursday. Yeah, I think the Hitler false binary is like, if you realize the rollerblading incident has some historical inaccuracies, to say the least, then that means you like Hitler. It's like being against abortion means you like Ben Shapiro. That's ridiculous. And I used to fall for every trap like that. Oh, I'm against Hollywood, so that means me and Steven Crowder have to become best friends. Steven Crowder is a butt-pumping retard who lies all the time, in my opinion. Could it be? Headline, media quotes his historian accurately, right. All right, ABC's Gardening and Chores. Please give me any tips you can think of. I think I just did. Thank you, and I hope you like barreled. Neener Bear. Thank you, Neener Bear. Of course I like barreled. All right, let's open the last one, and then that'll do it. Butt-pumping retard. He is. Steven Crowder, if I had to bet my life on it, butt pumps. I don't know who. I'm not making any claims. But that dude's got anal written all over him. And like dirty pumping. Let's read before we look in the box. Dear Owen, we've been watching your show since your escape from Hollywood to Saranac Lake. We have enjoyed watching you learn about your life experiences. Everything from that N stole your bike and Nimmer, it's funny that he's the N-word, to building a beautiful homestead in Washington State and now in Idaho. We ran from LA back in 2005 to the mountains of New Mexico. We didn't move to Homestead. We knew the city was not right. We like your idea of homesteading, so recently started a garden. That's paramilitary activity. No, I know we should call ourselves para-agricultural activity. Para-ag. We got a hoe out there. We got shovels. Pair of egg. We're sending you a ham CB radio. Nice. Like Health Ranger, you talk a lot about mass deaths, so I thought I would send you this radio to continue talking if you are right and the internet goes down. I hope you and the Health Ranger are wrong about mass death. We thought you could send it to Devin Stack for all the modifications that can be done for you. It's never been used, and yes, over 10 years old. It's a great way to reach people. Enjoy. If you need another one, I'll send another. I think we may need another one. Hope all goes well in Bertaria. We wish you and your family great happiness and success. Sincerely, John and Lori. We still don't have our bear names because we can't think of good ones to fit. P.S. The first toy we bought our daughter was a stuffed bear in '95. Wonderful letter. Let's take a look. Every day is Christmas when you're the big bear. Every day is Christmas because you care. Amazing. What a wonderful and useful present. All right. So today I got a piece of silver, many books on Latin. I got Barreled, the tea enthusiast, some mason jars, and a ham radio. I mean, I'll take it all day long. If that's my payment for taking media nonsense, I think it's a great deal for the big bear. So when you guys read that Daily Beast article, you thought it was cool? Yeah, where's my coffee? Like, how do you think it reads? Because I'm not going to read the whole thing. It just gets so tedious. But, so you think it reads cool? Like, it's like, oh, this guy gets it. All right. Para gravy ladling. Yeah. All right. Any final super chats for entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. And I'll also answer any questions in our Telegram chat for the next 10 minutes. All right. Any insights too? Any more mail today, BB? No, that's it. That's it. P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. If they were a gift, does that make them free mason jars? Ah, good one, Stuntman Bear. For anyone with half a brain, they'd be intrigued. Nice. Para ladling, nice. Those are fair exchange for General and the Bertaria Para Ag Sleuth. Yeah. All right. This is from OBB. Grabble, the Piano Man, and Buckets. The build looks awesome. Group of legends back to stringing Special Boys medicine game wands. Onward. Thank you very much. This is from Richard. Very generous. BB, this is Richard with the Bear Keep. I heard what you said about the letter V. I was with you, sir, until this. Now I truly have a vendetta. Haha. Much love to you and Cod. Oh yeah, I made the claim yesterday that the letter V for Vendetta pushed masks, the letter V, lockdowns, and it was set in the year 2020. And it was starring none other than Natalie Portman. I got no questions, just keep crushing and make the beast seethe. Well, apparently the beast is seething a bit, but I don't know. I don't see why the beast doesn't think I'm based. The beast should be like, oh, that's a relief. We don't have to feed all these people. But I think the real beast, I think might like it. He might want to see all the work camps. Now since you can't stop yourself from masturbating, now you gotta. You should end the stream with a design by Robert Frost. Has some good gravy. Okay. I'll read Robert Frost. Where is it? If I can find the book. These are all my Latin books. I don't know where my Robert Frost. Oh, here it is. Would a kind bear please post a link to the live chat? You're in the live chat. I don't know how. I'm off. Much love. Yeah, you as well, David. Scouts Bear. BB, have you or Amy gained any more insight or just speculation regarding the key on collarbone stuff? We got nothing right now. It's just kind of like we just don't really care right now. I love this poem. It's called, what's it called? What poem do you want to hear? Hang on. Design. Okay. What? All right. Design. $2.12. Illuminati has been confirmed. This is by Robert Frost. People are sending crypto super chats with emojis. Hilarious. I'm being trolled by crypto enthusiasts. I appreciate it though. Thank you. Design. Here we go. The Canadian Bears are going to send a raft down the Moyi River with bike staped to it this summer. It sounds amazing. BB, any tips on how to make a DIY water filter? No. I know they use charcoal. I'll get a better idea of how to do that. Design. I found a dimpled spider, fat and white. Oh, how dare you. On a white heel awl holding up a moth. That's anti-Semitic. Like a white piece of rigid satin cloth. How dare you, is pure and utter racism. My left collarbone is magnetic too. Do you know that that collarbone in both Croatian and another language means key bone? Any plans on harvesting solar power? Indeed. Allegedly. Like the all right. Assorted characters of death and blight mixed ready to begin the morning rite. Like the ingredients of a witch's broth, a snowdrop spider, a flower-like froth, and dead wings carried like a paper kite. That's anti-Semitism. I did not kite. What had the flower to do with being white? The Mayside blue and innocent heel-all. What about the kindred spider to that height? Then steered the white moth thither in the night. What but design of darkness to appall, if design govern in a thing so small? All right, can someone explain it to me? I'm not good at poetry. What did I miss about key and chest? Assuming it has to do with jab? No, because nobody in our family got a jab. Some members of our family have never gotten any jabs. So, and we all have a magnetic collarbone. The key to what? The services of Shylock Holmes are required, yeah. Hey, BB, what did you use to build your tomato trellises? String. And, just string and 2 posts. Just go back and forth and make it string. And then just guide it up through the string. The road not taken is good, that's true. Let's check out the road not taken. Actually, I think I'm going to bounce. My family is stirring all through the house. Not a creature, or no, that's a different thing. Any finals? Any final super chats? I'm going to get out of here. So, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho, 83864. Thank you for everything. I'm going to say bye to you. I'm coming right now. EntropyStream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Unauthorized.tv. Guys, join Beartaria Times. And please share this stream with other people wherever you're seeing it. The more of us, the less they can lie. So, can I get a witness, y'all? The more people you bring into this community, the better. The more it's absurd what the lies are. So, and it has to be grassroots. I will never be promoted by the media unless it's just kind of like ironically, or social media or anything, because when you point out the real plan and what racism really means is a homogeny. To take away the Indian way of life is, quote unquote, the Indian was being racist by wanting to hold on to their way of life. You have to understand you can't have it both ways. All right, here's the final one. I have no hatred or anything against any of these people. All right. Not sure how I feel about the Vietnamese being the Puerto Ricans of the Asian community, but you only bat like 1,000. Anyhow, Half to Dirt Buckets Laptop Fund or Pundets, whatever is first. Why, thank you very much, Sleep Deprived Bear. That'll be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. ODYSEE.com/@OwenBenjamin. Unbearablesmedia.com, and support other bears. Wherever you see bears doing stuff, verify they're real. There's obviously a lot of trickery in the world. But be fruitful, multiply, don't be fruity and blow a guy.